Hello everyone, this is Apeksha and today we're going to be discussing about overcoming intrusive thoughts. Now we would have all had moments where a random thought pops up to our mind and then we keep on thinking about it and then we realize, why did this thought even come? And this can happen repeatedly, multiple times, and you can just get upset with life because these thoughts keep coming back to you. So, before understanding how we overcome such intrusive thoughts, we need to start with understanding what these intrusive thoughts are. What do they actually mean? Do they have a hidden purpose that they're going to serve? What is the brain mechanism behind intrusive thoughts? What are certain steps that we can take? Are there different types of intrusive thoughts? And a lot more about intrusive thoughts before moving into how we overcome the entire process of us experiencing intrusive thoughts. Now, coming to the definition of intrusive thoughts, we all understand how intrusive thoughts are one unwanted and the other they're uncontrollable. So, why are they unwanted? Because most of the times you're not able to make sense of the purpose of this thought. Like, why is this thought even coming to me? Now, to give an example, let's say I take the metro home every day from work and I'm standing in front of the metro line waiting for my metro to arrive. And suddenly a thought comes to my mind saying, Apeksha, why don't you jump in front of the metro? Now, this is such an unwanted thought. I'm just finishing my day at work going. I have a pretty nice life. I'm happy about the things I'm doing. I'm happy about my work. But then this thought suddenly makes me uncomfortable. It makes me question a lot of things about myself. And suddenly, at a moment where I'm just waiting for a means of transport, why did this thought of dying come to my mind? And these are uncontrollable. I wasn't consciously thinking of dying, nor was I planning to take my own life. There were no thoughts as such. Suddenly, from somewhere, this thought just booms into my mind. And that is why intrusive thoughts are known as intrusive because they're not under our control. And at the same time, they're most of the times not needed to us. And this particular intrusive thought can cause a lot of discomfort to us as individuals. I mean, the thought of dying suddenly comes to your mind, and you just go on about thinking, why did this thought even come to my mind? And that is the reason we need to know the strong voices behind these intrusive thoughts that are the worried voice, the false comfort, and the wise mind. Now, what is the worried voice? The worried voice consists of all your what ifs. So it is about you get a thought, so you have rashes on your hand, and you get a sudden thought, okay, is this some sort of cancer or is this some sort of blood infection? What if it's an infection? What if I have to get admitted to the hospital for a long time? What will happen to my kids if I go into the hospital? So, all these what ifs form your worried voice. And then we have the false comfort. So, what does false comfort do? It only gives you reassurance. So, because of the reassurance, the thoughts might stop for some amount of time, but this is not going to be for long. And that's why worried voice and false comfort go on an ongoing conversation all the time. So, I have a hand infection, there are rashes on my skin, and now I'm thinking of all the what ifs possible from this being a small infection due to skin cream to me having the most rarest illness possible and I'm going to die the next day. And that is when false comfort pops up and says, hey, it's okay, you can always go to a dermatologist, get yourself checked, get yourself treated. And then again, another of what if comes, asking, but what if the dermatologist says this is not something that he or she can treat and I have to go to the bigger hospital for this? But the false comfort again says, can you just stop thinking so much? But the worried voice says, I can't stop thinking. And this is where the wise mind comes up. And the wise mind is that part of your voice which is more mindful, which is more conscious of what's happening with you, and tries to tell you that, you need to take a moment away and think about these thoughts objectively. Now, the wise mind does understand that a skin infection has caused you a certain amount of stress, but the wise mind tries to tell you how this is not it. That is, you have to be mindful of the present and then you need to move on. And we'll slowly learn how this can help in overcoming our intrusive thoughts.